Hello students, Wendy Ansley here, kinesiology professor at College of the Desert. I look forward to sharing with you a well-rounded sequence today. Challenging our strength today and with some kind of unique postures and balance for sure. I have with me my 2 blocks and a strap. And I wanted to share with you guys this quote that kind of inspired the practice a little bit. It is a shame for a woman to grow old without ever seeing the strength and beauty in which her body is capable of. Written by Socrates. And on the 4 corners of the mat, this challenges our balance, our strength, our flexibility. And I know this quote was geared for women, but it's truly geared for men too, because people were often kind of humbled sometimes. There's so much to learn in yoga, for sure. I'm gonna set that down here. Well, let's start off with 2 cleansing breaths together. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Let's fold our hands heart-centered, Anjali Mudra, lowering our head to our fingertips. Let's just take a moment and set our own personal and meaningful intention of our practice today. Honoring the strength and beauty within each one of us through our postures and our movement. Gently look up. Come to the top third of the mat here as we dive in together. As always, we cultivate Pada Bandha in our feet. We spread our toes, active legs, Tadasana. Inhale, draw those arms up. Let's clasp around the left wrist. I like to take my thumb and index finger together and shift now over to the right. Beautiful, opening the left side body and lateral flexion and drawing the right hip forward. Stay here several breaths. Inhale, rise as always. We inhale, exhale through the nose, calm the mind. Clasp the right wrist, shift over to the left, opening that right side body, drawing the left hip forward a bit. Inhale, rise. Exhale, swan dive down. Come into a dynamic forward fold. Heel and toe, heel and toe. Beautiful. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands to the shins, the thighs, or the ground. Tailbone is out. Gaze forward and down. On the exhale, framing the feet, we're stepping back into Phalakasana. Hands directly under the shoulders, heels over the balls of the feet. Engage the core, engage the shoulders. Let's stay here several breaths. Core awakening. Drawing the right knee to the left elbow or tricep. Step back on the exhale, draw the left knee to the elbow or tricep from the right. Step back, exhale, right leg to left tricep. Step back, left knee to right tricep. Come back to plank, several breaths. Lightly dome the upper back. Gently come to tabletop here. This is where I have the hands under the shoulders, hips over the knees. I tuck those toes. Dynamic breath here. We're going to inhale, draw the heart forward, tailbone out, look up. Exhale, push into the ground, tailbone in, round the back. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, look up.
Exhale, round the back. Let's walk those hands forward into Anahatasana, puppy dog. Hips stay over the knees. This is great for the hips and the spine, the back and the shoulders, opening the chest, heart melting pose. So try to get the forehead towards the ground if we can. If you need to put a block under the forehead, you can. And press through those palms and almost draw the triceps towards the mat and feel the release in the back, the shoulders, and the hips as we create space in the spine. Inhale, exhale through the nose. Calm the mind. A few of you may be able to take your chest and chin towards the ground as we release the shoulders, creating length in the spine, pressing through the palms, drawing the triceps towards the mat here. Truly being present. Gently release, come back to neutral tabletop. Walk the palms forward a few inches. Exhale, lead with those hips. Come into dynamic down dog, heel and toe, truly being present. Into a static hold. This is where we press through the palms, shoulder width apart. Feet are hip width or possibly a little bit wider if we need to. Let's firm those thighs. Push through those palms, draw length in the spine. Transition, we're going to walk it forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, come into forward fold. Gently bend the knees, swan dive up, open the chest, open the heart. Exhale, heart centered. Inhale, root through the four corners of the feet, draw those arms up. Clasp around the right wrist and shift now over to the left, opening that right side body. Drawing the left hip forward just a bit. Truly being present. Lateral flexion. Inhale, rise. Clasp around the left wrist. Shift now over to the right. Drawing the right hip forward. Inhale, rise. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway left, either hands, shins, thighs, or the ground, tailbone out and back. Framing the feet, we're gonna step back into Phalakasana here. Beautiful. Core awakening, truly being present. We're going to take the left leg and draw a little half circle. And come back. Take the right foot and draw a little half circle. And come back. Left foot, half circle, core awakening. Right foot, half circle, core awakening. Do two more left. Leg up. Come back. Right leg up. Come into plank. Core awakening here. Belly button to the spine, dome the upper back. Gently release, come to all fours. A little dynamic cat and cow. I like to tuck my toes, press through those palms. Inhale, heart comes forward, tailbone out. Exhale, push into the ground, round the back. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round the back, push into the ground. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round the back, one more time. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round the back. Beautiful dynamic movement. Neutral spine, tabletop. Beautiful shoulder opener. You're going to enjoy this. Inhale, draw that right arm up to about shoulder height. Thread that right arm underneath the shoulder, right shoulder comes to the ground. I like to take the side of my head, ear towards the ground, and then almost draw that right hip back to square it. For balance, I can draw that left arm up, towards the top of the mat, or draw it up. And then take the left hand inside the right hip, the right crevice of the thigh, and let's square those hips. Draw that right hip, center of it, and then gaze. You can come to the back of the head a little bit more. Gaze over the left shoulder. Look up. Gently release. Come back center. We call this thread the needle for the shoulders. It's almost a form of puppy dog here a little bit. Inhale, left leg, left arm up. Exhale, thread the left arm underneath, left shoulder to the ground, left side of the head to the ground, and try to square, get the left hip towards the center. Draw that right hand to the front of the mat for balance, or draw it up, and then take the right hand inside the crevice of the left thigh, and again, let's square those hips. Draw the hip center, gaze over the right shoulder. Draw that left hip center of it. Release of the shoulders. Release of the spine. It's a spinal twist too. Truly be present. Transition, come back. All these sequences I create for you guys, they're challenged and well-rounded, but I try to do that in a way for safety. Walk those hands forward, and I just do that with the best heart intentions for you all. Come into down dog, beautiful down dog. You bicycle those legs out. Walk the feet together on this transition. The feet are together in down dog, and we're going to inhale, releve up. Exhale, heels to the ground. Inhale, releve up. Exhale, heels to the ground. Inhale, releve up. Exhale, heels to the ground. Inhale, left leg up, hip level, one-legged down dog. Rotate the left pinky in just a bit. On the exhale, draw the knee to the chest, to the nose, heel towards the buttocks. Place the left foot next to the left hand, hands to the hips, preparing for low lunge. 1 to 2 dynamics. Now inhale, draw those arms up. Beautiful low lunge. Root through the four corners of the front foot. Draw length in the spine. Beautiful Anjaneyasana. Low lunge. Coming in, let's take those arms and open them to an open arm twist, preparing our spine for our practice with a little twist, a little transverse rotation. Still breathing into that right hip. Good. Inhale, arms up. Gaze up. On the exhale, frame the feet. Connect back legs straight in runner's pose. Left hip firm. Press into the ground. Come into down dog. Feet are hip width apart. Feel those inner thighs spiraling back. Shoulder blades down the back ribs. On this transition, we're going to bring the feet together just to explore another transition in down dog. Inhale, releve up. Exhale, heels to the ground. Inhale, releve up. Exhale, heels to the ground. Inhale, releve up. Exhale, heels to the ground. Inhale, right leg up. Rotate that right pinky in just a bit. Firm that left hip. On the exhale, draw the right knee to the chest, to the nose. Place the right foot next to the right hand, hands to the hips. 1 to 2 dynamics. Now beautiful low lunge. Root through both feet, draw length in the spine. Shoulders down the back, ribs gaze up. Breathe into the hips, breathe into the shoulders. Open arm twist here. Good. Feel that left hip rotating inward just a bit. But this twist is so good for the spine. Inhale, both arms up, gaze up. Frame the foot. Connect. Runner's pose, back legs straight, right hip. Exhale, press the hands into the ground, transition back to down dog. Let's take those heels, widen them a little bit towards the edge of the mat, and let's exaggerate the feeling of those inner thighs spiraling back, creating length in the spine, and take the tailbone, draw it back and down, pubis bone back and up. Breathe into any stiffness and pain. Transition, walk the hands and the feet towards one another. Inhale, halfway lift, tailbone down back. Exhale, come into forward fold. Gently bend the knees. Swan dive up. Open the chest. Open the heart. Exhale, heart center. Beautiful. Coming to the center of the mat, this is where some of you might want to take a block for Malasana to open up those hips, okay? And I like to do it without a block because I've practiced long enough, but the block is there to help you come into the pose. The feet are hip width apart or a little bit wider, heels rotated in, toes out. Awaken those arches in the feet, the intrinsic muscles of the feet in all of our postures today. Awaken them. Inhale, draw those arms up. Exhale, come into beautiful Malasana. You can use the block to help you come into the pose. As always, I want length in the spine. Elbows come inside the knees. Draw length, broaden the collarbones. Root through the four corners of the feet. Let's close our eyes and just think about length in the spine and feel the breath rise from the tailbone through the crown of the head. Inhale, create length. Exhale, root into the ground. Adding a little bit of a spinal twist here. Let's take your left hand down and your right arm up and simply grow the pose. Turn back center. Right hand down, left arm up. Come back center. Beautiful. Adding a little flossing of the hips here. You're going to take your left knee and you're going to try to, without, if you need to put your hands on the ground, you can to help. But trying to take the left knee down to the ground without the hands and knees. Come back up. Take the right knee down to the ground, floss it, come back up. So good for the pelvic hip girdle. Left knee down, come back up. Right knee down, come back up. Lengthen the spine. Inhale, root, and rise. Cleansing breath. Inhale. Exhale. Coming to all fours here, I want to awaken our hands with the hand bands because we are going to do a few little arm balances here. So we're gonna rock we're back in tabletop, shoulders over the hands. We're rocking back and forth, and we're awakening our wrists. We are working on wrist flexibility, wrist strength. We're gonna turn the hands this way and rock forward and back, forward and back. And now the fingers come towards us and we rock forward and back. Fingers come towards us. We rock forward and now the tops of the hands, we're gonna rock side to side. Finger come towards us and we're gonna rock side to side. And now the fingers come away and we're gonna rock side to side. Beautiful. Putting weight on, strengthening the wrists, the beautiful hands. Circle around. Circle the hands. Circle the other direction. Building strength. Okay, some of us, as we explore Bakasana Crow, some of us may utilize a block to help us, and we'll keep that there. But we're going to come and connect. Effort is everything. The beginning is more important than the end, and just truly be present and just give it a try. We're in Tadasana. Let's do a cleansing breath first. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale, draw those arms up. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Beautiful. Pressing the hands into the ground, we're gonna relevate up on the balls of the feet. And this is now, we're gonna widen the knees. And we're gonna try to place the knees up high on the triceps, okay? If you need a block, you can take a block here and start working on crow, resting the head onto the block. Otherwise, we're gonna take and work on crow here. Knees up high on the triceps. We really have, similar to chaturanga, arms here, shoulders in line with the elbows. I like to take my big toes and touch them. A little core awakening, levity here. As we stay here, several breaths, our core is awake, our hands and wrists are awake, building strength, heels towards the hips. Beautiful. Practice it again. Give yourself a little wrist relief, a little circle. Practice it again. I like to come into releve, widen those knees, place the knees up high on the tricep. Draw the heels towards the hip. Feet toes touching. 4, 3. Gently release. Beautiful. Swan dive up. Open the chest and the heart. Heart center. Let's take those blocks out. If you don't have blocks, it's okay, but the blocks help us, give us a little lift. They help us refine a pose, and I like to use them sometimes, and today is a great example of it. Heel of the hands are gonna come onto the blocks as we explore down dog. Beautiful. Shoulders down the back ribs, feet hip width apart. Inhale, we're gonna draw that left leg up, one leg above. Exhale, we're gonna draw the left knee to the chest and the nose. Place the left foot next to the left hand, and we're gonna draw that back foot a few inches and prepare in pyramid pose. Here we go. I come more onto that left midfoot. I press outer edge of the back right foot, which is 45 to 60 degrees, and the heel and heel and arch intersect. Beautiful pyramid pose. Maybe I come and lower just a bit, bringing my sternum and chest close to that left shin, but really trying to still level the pelvis here. Draw almost that right hip forward a bit and that left hip up. Taking the block, I adjust it a little bit. I place it near inside here of the left foot and I prepare for revolve triangle here. Revolve triangle prep. Shoulder over one another. Draw that right hip forward. And if I can, I gaze up at the left hand, really working on that thoracic revolvement here of the spine. Stay here several breath cycles. Gently release. Adjust the blocks again. Pyramid pose. Level the pelvis. Heel with the hands on the blocks of this transition. Down dog here. Let's do cleansing breath together. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale, draw that right leg up to hip level. Exhale, draw the right knee to the chest and to the nose. Place the right foot next to the right hand. Draw that left foot forward and try to level the pelvis here in pyramid pose. Come more to the right midfoot. Stable hips. Beautiful. Draw the sternum and the chest now close to the right shin if we can. So good for the pelvic hip girdle. Taking the left block and drawing it just somewhat a few inches away from inside of the right foot. Revolve triangle prep here. You either can keep the hand on the hip for stability, or we can grow the pose. Shoulder over one another. A little mid-thoracic rotation. Stable back foot. Stable hips. Challenging pose. So we're kind of prepping here. We might make it a little more advanced. Lower the hand, come back, and level the pelvis one more time in pyramid pose. Come more to that midfoot. Stable back foot. Stable hips. You almost feel the hips coming towards one another, inner thighs touching. Heel of the hand on the blocks. Transition to down dog. Create length in the spine. Inhale, length. Exhale, press into the ground. Many of you can simply stay here, and some of us may add a vinyasa as we transition into plank. Elbows close to the body, possibly sternum and chest forward. Notice shoulders in line with those elbows. Chaturanga, elbows close to the side. Press through the tops of the feet. Urdhva Mukha, active life. Gaze up. Exhale, come into down dog. Transition, walking forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Tumble down and back. Exhale, forward fold. Gently bend the knees. Swan dive up. Open the chest, open the heart. Exhale, heart center. Cleansing breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Building strength here, still warming up. Feet are together. On the exhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Ankles, knees, and shins are together. And we're gonna draw both arms up. Engaging the quadriceps, creating length in the spine. Gaze up, shoulders down the back ribs. Rooted to the ground, building strength. Hands come center. Heart center. Draw the right elbow outside the left knee and pin that right hip back. Gaze over the left shoulder. Come back center. Draw the left elbow outside the right knee. Knees are stacked together. Pin that left hip back. Gaze over the right shoulder. Inhale, come center. Arms up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, rooted to the ground. Rise. Beautiful. Cleansing breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Building onto this flow. This is going to be challenging. Going to be fun. We're going to do the best that we can. Heel of the hands onto the blocks. We're going to come into down dog. Transition, beautiful down dog. It's okay to kind of shake it out a little bit, little dynamic movement. We're going to inhale, draw that left leg up to hip level. On the exhale, draw the left knee to the nose. Inhale, rise. Left knee to the nose. Inhale, rise. Left knee to the right tricep. And then to the nose. Place the left foot next to the block. Runner's pose here. Back heel lifted, and we're transitioning into crescent moon. Front knee is aligned over the ankle, and the knee is pointed straight ahead. The back leg is straight and strong. Come onto the pinky toe just a bit at the back leg. Stable crescent moon. Stay here several breath cycles. Hands to the hips. Draw that back foot a few inches up for pyramid. This is where my hips square the hips right away. We either can take the elbows, clasp the elbows, or keep the hands on the hips, or draw the palms together into reverse prayer. Inhale, create length. Exhale, come forward. Stable back foot, stable hips. If you have the elbows or you're in a reverse prayer, widen the elbows. Draw those elbows back. Draw the sternum and chest more over the left shin. Keep the left hand on the left hip. This time take the right hand, if you can, out to the block outside that left foot. You can keep the hand on the hip for stability. You can keep the hand inside if you want to for modification too. But if you can, draw that arm up. Shoulders step over one another. Draw the right hip forward. Rotate more the upper, middle, back. Left hand on the hip. Come back center. Now we're going to extend this back leg. And keep the left hand on the hip for stability. If we can, we're going to come into this prayer twist, gazing over the left shoulder and elbow. So I take my right elbow and I almost kind of leverage that rotation a bit. Left hand on the hip for stability. Both hands to the blocks. Runner's pose. Draw the blocks up about 6 inches. Connect. Back leg straight and strong. Rotate. Level the pelvis. Rotate that right hip inward. Warrior 3. Back leg straight and strong. Several breath cycles. Revolved half moon. Some of you might take this right block, turn it up to make it easier, right? But if you can, you're gonna simply come into revolved half moon. Shoulders over one another. Rotate the back right hip inward. Connect. Back leg straight and strong. Gently release. Gently bend the left leg. Draw the right to the chest and the nose. We call this like crouching tiger. And we're going to work on this transition as we come up. Clasping the right belly of the hamstring. Preparing for, and just a little balance here. Now we're going to prepare for eagle. We're going to gently bend the left leg. We're going to take either the right foot to the ground, or kickstand, or float, or we're going to wrap the right foot around the calf, find it. And draw now the right arm underneath, left arm over the top. Sink nice and low. Eagle pose, balance and strength. Draw the palms forward, sink lower. And release. Pause your breath in out from the nose, out over the mouth. So we're going to adjust the blocks here. We're going to take those blocks, draw them over here to the left. Parshvabhakasana. So we're going to relevate up on the balls of the feet here. I know it's a little hard to see here. So let's talk about it. The left hip is going to come onto the left tricep like a shoulder, like a shelf. And that's for beginners, really. And then my left knee is going to come onto the right tricep. So right away, it's like a chaturanga arms, and I place my hip onto the left tricep, and it's like a shelf. And here I am, Parshvabhakasana, side row. Beautiful. Let's try one more time while we're already here. Hip to tricep, shelf, left elbow makes a shelf. Parshvabhakasana. Gaze forward and down, shoulders in line with those elbows. Strength and beauty. It's a shame to grow old without realizing the strength and beauty which our body is capable of, right? Let's take those blocks and adjust them to this side. Let's keep growing and learning and doing this together. Heel of the hands on the blocks, come into down dog. Inhale, draw that right leg up to hip level. On the exhale, draw the right to the chest and the nose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, knee to the chest and the nose. Inhale, drop. Exhale, draw the right knee to the left tricep. And then to the nose. Place the right foot next to the right hand. Come into runner's pose. Come onto the ball of the back foot here, and inhale, come into beautiful crescent moon. Again, front leg and back leg stable and strong. Front leg parallel to the ground, back leg straight, gaze up, shoulders down the back rib, gaze up, find your balance, find your strength. Come onto the pinky toe of the back leg, from the right hip a bit. Gently release, hands to the hips. Draw that back foot up a few inches. Square those hips. Either clasp the elbows or come into the reverse prayer, square those hips. Forward. Inhale, create light. Exhale, come forward. Beautiful. Pyramid. Those inner thighs almost touching. Hips reach towards one another. Come on to that movement. Keeping the right hand on the hip for stability. We're going to take the left hand, either for beginners inside the block or outside the block. Here we are, hand on the hip for stability. Eventually coming into revolve triangle, shoulder over one another, top ribs back, bottom ribs forward. Stable hips, stable back foot. Right hand on the hip. We're going to adjust, we're coming back center. We're going to adjust that left leg back. This is a challenge. If we can, we're going to come into a prayer twist. Back leg straight. Use that left elbow here to almost leverage the rotation of the twist. Knees over the left elbow and shoulder. Hand on the hip for stability. Adjust. Come into the runner's pose here. Take the blocks, come up 6 inches. Transition into warrior 3. Stable pelvis. Rotate that left hip inward, stable right hip. Pressing into the left hand, into the block. We're going to transition into half moon here. Draw that right arm up. Shoulder over one another. Rotate that back hip inward. Connect. Back leg stable and strong. Gently lower the hands to the ground. Gently bend the right leg. Come into crouching tiger as we draw the left knee to the chest and the nose. Come up. Belly of the hand. At the hands on the belly of the thigh here, the left leg. Stable right leg. Preparing for eagle pose. Slightly bend the right leg. Either we have the kickstand, left foot to the ground, or we have just a float. Eventually, or we bind, left foot comes behind the top, left arm underneath, right arm over the top, palms together, sink. The hips, they come towards one another. Everything's adduction. The body comes together. We draw the palms forward. We sink lower. Balance and strength. Draw the palms forward, release the upper back. Take your elbows up. Release.
We're gonna adjust the blocks here. Beautiful. The feet are still pointed straight ahead, and we relevate up. So now Parshravakhasana on the side. Again, the right elbow becomes, the tricep becomes a shelf for the right hip. And then the left tricep holds onto the right hip. Okay, so here we are. I know it's kind of an interesting look here. So just, again, right hip comes onto the right tricep, shelf. Right knee to the left tricep and shelf. Parsva, side, crow. Parshravakhasana, side, crow. Truly being present. Gently release. Kind of fun, huh? Try it again. Hip to the tricep. Make the shelf. You don't have to get the toes off the ground. Beginning is more important than the end. Listen to your body. Have fun. Strength and beauty. Gently release. Come back center. One leg up. Exhale, heart center. And adjust the blocks just a bit. Have them about shoulder width apart, 6 inches in front of you. Put the flexibility and balance together as we do standing splits. Inhale, draw those arms up. Exhale, slow down. Take those hands onto the block, and I want you to draw that right leg out in standing splits. Deepen the pose. Inhale, exhale. Move the nose, back leg, top leg straight and strong. Connect. Breathe into those hamstrings, and we're going to stay here a while. Gently bend the knee. Swan it up. Exhale, heart center. Inhale, draw those arms up. Exhale, swan it down. Draw that left leg high and standing splits here. Sternum and chest over the right shin. Beautiful. Connect to that back leg straight from deep in the stretch. Breathe into those hands. Beautiful standing split. Gently bend the right leg lower as you come in. Now swan dive. Open the chest, open the heart. Exhale, return. Cleansing breath, inhale. Exhale. Gently removing the blocks here. Come up to the edge of the mat here. We'll come into a deeper cobra here. Back bend. Inhale, arms up. And out the fingertip. Exhale, swan leg. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway.
Straighten the feet. Exhale, step back into plank. Hold the plank several times. Gently rolling onto the knees, into the stomachs. Feet are hip width apart. Press through the tops of the feet. Rest the forehead to the ground. Walk the hands back an inch or two below the bra strap, and I want you to keep the elbows close to the sides. We're going to lift the hands off the ground. We're going to press through the tops of the feet. We're hovering the hands here. And we're going to use the back muscles to pull the chest off the ground in Cobra, Bhujangasana. Now press the hands into the mat. And we're going to inhale and rise. Press to the top of the feet. Knees off the mat. Inhale, rise. Keep this going onto the ground. Inhale, rise. Spinal extension. Elbows close to the sides. Press to the tops of the feet. Knees off the ground. Keep this going on the ground. Gaze up. Stay here several breaths. Goes towards the knees. Into the spinal extension. Gently release. Coming on to our backs here, transitioning now. Let's transition where we are. Let's do a child's pose. This feels so good. Big toes touching, widen the knees. Let's take those palms, draw them forward, and create length in the spine, hips towards those heels. Rest the forehead onto the ground. And press those palms, all drawing length in the spine. Close your eyes and stay here. Release 10 breath cycles. Exhale longer than the inhale. Release. Transition, we're going to come onto the backs. This is a beautiful spinal choice. We're going to come onto the backs. And we're going to draw, both legs are up. And we're going to draw the right leg over the left, preparing almost an eagle. These are eagle legs. If we can, we try to clasp the right foot behind the left calf. Eventually, whatever we can do here. And now we're going to draw both knees over to the left here. And we're gazing over. We're trying to get the right shoulder to the ground. So it's a beautiful spinal twist as we gaze over the right shoulder. Gently release. both legs up. Left leg over the right. If we can, draw the eagle legs over to the right, and now press the left shoulder onto the mat, and gaze over the left shoulder. Beautiful climber. Let's clasp around the shins here, and I want you to draw the tailbone towards the ground and just lightly breathe evenly into both sides of the spine. We call this a light supine forward fold, even just a light clasping of your shins. Breathe evenly. Tailbone towards the ground. And preparing for our Shavasana here. We're going to reach the arms and legs here in opposite directions. So just one last long stretch here. Preparing for our Shavasana. We're going to truly let everything go. We relax the palms. We relax the feet. We kind of nestle the shoulder blades into the mat, and we reflect back into the strength and the beauty of our postures today, into our elements. And truly the meaning of yoga and the closure of our practice, knowing that the light exists in me and looking for the light in others. One last cleansing breath here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Let everything go. Take here as long as you need to regenerate. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Let everything go.